Hello guys, welcome to another episode of Clues, Cues and Reviews, and today I want to start the episode or the introduction off with an apology. It may not affect that many people, but with 57 subscribers, some of them being family, some of them being loyal viewers, and some of them being inactive that just pop in from time to time, it might not bother many, but it bothers me that I'm late with some of my reviews. So I want to apologise to say that it's not in my intention to be this late with a lot of my reviews, but circumstances beyond control have made this the case. To give a bit of a heads up, I normally do the review of Blue Exorcist on a Saturday. Last Saturday I was working overtime to cover a shift. I will also be doing that this Saturday because work-wise we are down. So just expect delays, especially for my Saturday content at the time being. That's not to mean I'm not covering it. That's not to mean I won't be reviewing it. It just can sometimes be late. I will endeavour to have episode 3 of the season 2 review on time, but just later on the Saturday. And I am playing catch up at the moment, so we'll be doing quite a few reviews, shorter, kept to the point, and hopefully pump them out. Without further ado, let's get into the review. So, having watched the episode, it was very heavy Kyoto centric, which makes sense because it is the Kyoto Impure King arc. There's a little bit about Tokyo at the end, but there's a few running elements throughout this this episode that I really enjoyed. Before getting into that though, there's one thing that I haven't really talked about, and it's Suguru. Now Suguru's voice actor is the same voice actor as Zoro, which means for some reason I just love to listen to the guy, being that Zoro is one of my favourite One Piece characters. So that being said, I like the fact they had a key role in this. So there's quite a few different elements. So there's the father and son relationship, because we get to see Suguru's relationship with his father, the high priest, and we see glimpses of his past in the flashbacks, and then we see elements of Rin with his father. And I'll explain all that, but I'll go through the episode and I'll explain the main points. So the first part really, the first theme, and it starts at the beginning of the episode and it pretty much carries on throughout, is there's still that strain in the relationship with the group of the XYs, with Rin, Suguru, Konekamaru, Shima, and so on and so forth. And that continues. And you can see little bits and glimpses of them kind of breaking down bit by bit throughout this episode. We see elements of, reconciliation and kind of reaffirming, and you see a lot of that throughout the episode, in the sense of Suguru with meeting his family, Shima meeting his family, Konikomaru kind of praying to the gravestones, and it's sad but it's cool at the same time. So Shima's part is funny because his brother and his father are both exorcists in their own right. His father basically being kind of the chief in commander for the Myoda sect, I believe it's called, and his brother being an exorcist as well, clumsy at that. So that was funny because he's like, oh, embarrassed and oh, kill me now, and that was funny. The Suguru thing was cool because it was very centered around him, because his family, the lineage, is kind of like key for the Myoda sect. And we see glimpses of his father and how he's quite a carefree individual. And you see with Rin, he sees a lot of his father in Suguru's father, and we find out they have a conversation around cutting watermelons, and he talks about how Suguru is hot-headed, temperamental, but actually a decent guy that he wants to be friends with. And then we find out about this fight between father and son, and the main kind of thing really is beliefs and understandings of goals. So Suguru doesn't want to run. He wants to be a person that becomes an exorcist, defeats Satan, so that he can take over and effectively lead his sect, his family lineage, his birthright into the new era, and to be, followers of their true religion and things of that nature. The father himself doesn't really want to kind of become an exorcist, and he's dealing with life in his own way through his mantras and his prayers, which is fine. So I guess the thing is, they've got a difference of opinion, and that's what's causing the conflict. But there's nothing wrong with having a difference of opinion in life. There's going to be people in life that you don't necessarily agree with, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad thing. It's a good thing, because you see different perspectives, and I'm guessing that's what that kind of storyline is going to link towards. Now, I like the whole situation with the flashbacks. That was cool. That was cute, seeing Suguru as a young fellow and seeing the other two, Shima and Konekamaru. That was all cool. But going into the present, a lot of the ex-wives are really doing menial work at the moment. You can see that Suguru has an influence, or bond, like they like to call him, the young master, and he does stop a fight, and there is that internal conflict. Now, to explain how this has come about, back in the day when they had the whole Blue Knight situation, the Mjord kind of sect or group basically aligned themselves with the True Cross and became Exorcist, but not all of them did, and the main guy not being that, him having a bad name, infuriated and pissed off Suguru, but the father took it within his stride and carried on, holding on to his ideals and being true to himself, which you can respect, and you can't hate him for that. Obviously, Suguru being a young man, he sees his own way, and he doesn't quite understand yet. I'm sure at a certain time that will be explained. However, I haven't read the manga, so I'm hoping it happens soon. So there's a lot of different things in there now, talking about the father and son relationship. One of the things that I found interesting was Rin's list when he was kind of drunk, and basically he was talking about the list of cool, and it was interesting that he had his dad as number one. That showed how much love and respect he had for his father, the human father, who was the high priest, or the paladin who unfortunately passed away. And then he has him, I believe, fourth, but above his brother. So that was kind of cool to see that, how he sees that relationship. Then there was like a flashback of Happy Father's Day, and I liked that. That was quite soft and tender. And then one of the key elements of Kyoto at the moment is kind of, people coming home, members of that group that are from that sect, and there's that internal conflict where we don't know who the mole is, who the betrayer is, and people, I think, is people from the Myodo sect. And then we go to Tokyo. Now we see Yukio with his group, and they find the target and people are dead. And then we see the man who started it all, and he's on the phone to someone, and he says, make your move quickly before they figure out who you are. We need to bring the eyes together, otherwise it won't make sense. So that ending was just a nice suspenseful cliffhanger ending to set things up for episode 3. I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully I'll do that review on time. As always, like, comment, share, subscribe and all that good stuff, and continue to show your support. I will endeavour to get back into track and hopefully get up to date with all my videos. Until then, peace.